Hey, this is Matt Blackburn, the Divine Superconductor, and I want to talk about red light therapy and review two of my favorite red light devices. One's called the Red Light Man, and the other one's called the GembaRed. Now, to me, one's not better than the other. They just have different applications. The one I use the most is definitely the Red Light Man. This company is in the UK. It's a super small team as of the making of this video. It's just one guy. And it's a really effective device. If you do LLLT on PubMed, you'll see 2,000 plus studies on light therapy. So that's what you search for, because if you search PubMed, just light therapy, nothing will come up. So the clinical name of it, which is not the best name ever, is low-level laser therapy. What it entails is the application of lasers to organisms to actually affect biology. So the first studies were done with rats, and they actually tried to kill rats with red light. And what they found is that the rats just started to regrow their hair. The hair grew in thicker. It grew faster. They found that instead of actually damaging with red light, it was actually very healing. So this began the study on red light therapy. There's a lot of research that it actually helps baldness, male pattern baldness, anyone suffering from hair loss, people that have undergone chemotherapy, lost their hair, just for vanity's sake. It's like for the skin and the hair, it's the best thing you could do. It actually stimulates collagen production. So of all the wavelengths of light, there's 400 to 700 nanometers, and that's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Red on this side, violet on this side, and ultraviolet, infrared. And a lot of the studies have been done on red light, visible red light that you can see, and then invisible red light, which is infrared. And there's actually near, mid, and far infrared light, and they each have their different application. And so with a lot of these light therapy devices, they actually combine visible red with infrared. And you might be thinking, infrared sauna, like sweating in a sauna. That's actually far infrared, which you kind of need a longer dose. You need to get dosed on far infrared to actually start to get a benefit in sweat, because it heats up the water in your system. But with near and mid infrared, it's actually a shorter dose. So you actually get the benefit a lot quicker. You don't need to sit in a sauna for half an hour. Literally, a dose with red light is 3 to 5 to 10 minutes. It's that quick, even just 3 minutes. Basically, it's surface exposure that matters. So if you just do it on your face, that's one thing. If you're naked, that's a completely different ballgame, because you're actually hitting all the tissues. So what I usually do with this one is I turn it on, and I'll stand in front of it naked and just kind of like go like this for 10 minutes and then go like this for 10 minutes. Male or female, it's really important to get the full frontal of the red light, because what that's going to do is it's going to hit your thyroid gland, which, if you look at the studies of red light, they had to lower their thyroid medication by 38%. You stack that with grounding or earthing, which people have to lower their thyroid medication with that. If you just reconnect with the earth electrically, like you got a silver conductive sheet and ground directly to the earth, combine that with red light on the thyroid, what the studies show is just 3 minutes on the thyroid twice a week starts to regenerate the thyroid gland. It's incredible. The thyroid's kind of like a master controller of the body. It's a master gland. Metabolism, temperature regulation, weight distribution, hormones, a lot of stuff. People use this for beauty. You do a cleanser, and then you can put on a clay face mask, and then you would do the red light on your face. That's great. I would rather just hit it all at once. And so I mentioned the thyroid gland. I'm hitting my face, stimulating collagen production. For women, the breasts are really important, because there's a lot of, basically there's, the tissues throughout the body are light sensitive, and when we actually apply light to different tissues, there's different effects. Women's mammary glands, there's actually bacteria in there. So when you apply light to them, you're actually feeding those bacteria. You're like supercharging the bacteria, the good bacteria, and you're killing the pathogenic bacteria. And then go further down, testes and ovaries, you're actually stimulating hormonal production. For men, tripling or quadrupling testosterone production for women, just balancing estrogen, progesterone, just all of it. It's amazing. And other than that, it would just be scars. Like, I was circumcised, so I'm using it for that. Actually wipes out scars, scar tissue, collagen, like I mentioned, acne, wrinkles. This is like a magical thing for the skin, and it's really amazing because like you're not applying a cream. How is this supposed to help my skin? It's just light, right? Well, this is the effect of this light. Photo damage, like damage from sunlight, is actually ultraviolet light. That's the purple light. These lights actually protect against that. So that is to say, if you dose yourself on red light, then you go out on like a super sunny day, your telomeres, the tips of your chromosomes, your DNA, those will actually be protected, because UV light is it's the most powerful, it's the shortest wavelength of light, so it's the densest, it's the most power packed. It can cause damage, yes, but it can also heal. The question is, can you absorb it? And if you're burning, if you can't absorb ultraviolet light, you're probably deficient in red light. So if you preload with red light, red and infrared, you can be out in the sun, then you stack that with DHA, with chlorophyll, with astaxanthin, probably not going to burn at all. Some other carotenoids, beta-carotene, whatever, spirulina. We can really turn into an awesome solar panel, and that's when these lights start to actually heal us. You get the plastics out of the skin by sweating in the sauna. Now you're actually using light for your benefit. It's not reacting with carcinogens in your tissues, 7 layers of tissues. Those UV reactive plasticizers, BPS, bisphenol A, all these plasticizers, they react to the sun, they react to UV light. This is just a good thing to do if you're sunlight deficient, which most people are, if you're fatigued, if you're depressed, if you have skin issues you're working on, if you have infections that you're dealing with, any kind of infection. Remember, UV light, IV, can actually wipe out a lot of critters in your blood just by injecting with a needle and beaming light into your blood. But we don't have to pierce the skin. We could do this external. Question is, can you absorb it? Do you have junk in your skin? Have you been sweating in a sauna? Are you taking DHA, astaxanthin, chlorophyll, these light receivers? Basically, these are pigments, and they actually absorb different wavelengths of light. So the problem is, we have a society where we're living a vampire existence, where we're living an indoor life, and then we go out during the sun, we turn into a lobster. Well, of course we're turning into a lobster. We don't have any way to capture the sun. We have all these things that are blocking it, and we are just creatures of darkness. Really passionate about light. Nothing compares to the sun, but these are really excellent tools to use. This isn't super travel friendly. You know, if you have a family member or a friend that you just are trying to improve their health, you can throw this in the car. It just hangs on the door. This is the Red Light Man. It's in the UK. Oh, like I said, pull the pants down, take the shirt off, and I'll just stand here about this close. So I'll be like about here. And the further away you move, it's called joules per centimeter squared. There's a dosage of light that the further you get away, just like EMFs, the less they're affecting you. And you can measure this. I have a magnetic field meter, I have a radio frequency meter, I have different non-native EMF meters. This is super low right on the panel, like less than 0.3 milligauss, like right on the panel, because you don't want to be frying yourself with microwaves while you're trying to get some red light therapy in. So this is really nice. It actually has 4 frequencies of red light. It has 2 visible red, which you can see here. It might be a little hard to see, but these are actually 2 different colors of red. And then 2 different infrared. So 2 visible, 2 invisible. And what's really interesting about this panel is he doesn't use the normal 660 nanometers. He uses 670. It's called the peak absorption wavelength. And the inventor of this found that 670 is better than 660. From my research, that's been true as well. It's not that big of a deal. It's kind of like whichever one's correct, you're just going to have to get more. One thing I want to mention is there's something called the biphasic dose response. Standing in front of this for 5 hours, you're actually going to lose some of the benefits. So you just want to be in front of it for up to 20 to 30 minutes has been my experience. Anything after that, I start to feel actually a little off. But the dosage is really, really short, and a lot of the conditions are 3 to 10 minutes. If you're going for the skin benefit, you could probably go longer. My favorite is go 15, 20, 30 minutes on it if I can. And I'll just be on a phone call. You know, multitasking. This is the best thing about all these machines. You're on a phone call, you have your air tube headset, never use wired headset. I just set it on the stand, and now I'm just here getting a benefit while I'm talking on the phone. So stacking is a really big thing with all these things, because how do you find time for all this stuff? Well, you combine with what you're already doing. Another big benefit of this one, and just red light in general, is that it actually stimulates ATP production. So ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It's the energy molecule of the cell. It's basically the fuel of the cell, and our mitochondria make that fuel. And this feeds an enzyme called cytochrome C oxidase, which actually powers up that process of generating ATP. So this is kind of a combination. If you've seen my previous work, you're drinking the good water, you're grounding, you might be sleeping on a Magnetico, you're doing the sun in the eyes practice. This is a synergy. But if you have good water in your system, then you use this and you have DHA in your tissues, super synergy. And you'll actually generate energy just like eating food. This is literally food. This literally stimulates energy production at the deepest level. But the benefit is you don't have any metabolic waste. I don't care if it's sprouts, I don't care if it's lettuce, you're still going to generate some metabolic waste after you digest this. This has no metabolic waste. It's incredible. And it's just an anti-inflammatory, it's just an amazing thing for the whole system. Like I said, over 2,000 studies on red light. It's almost like, what doesn't it do is the question. And this light is the GembaRed. I'll turn this one off so you can see. This is an excellent light. Kind of looks like a little light bright. And this is a travel one. There's no fan on this. It's just a simple little square. He actually has them listed here, wavelengths. It's 3 wavelengths on this light. It's the LEDs. So LEDs are not always bad, but they usually are. This is 630 nanometers, 660, and 850. So red, deep red, and infrared. Typical use, 15 to 30 minutes per session on the desired area, 1 to 2 times per day. So the benefit to this one is that you can actually sleep on it if you wanted to. You're lying down, pull up your shirt, actually just set it there. It actually doesn't get hot. Even though there's some infrared in here, it's not, this can kind of warm you up, not to a degree of a sauna. This one I'm gonna bring with me traveling everywhere. It's just amazing. You're in a hotel, my favorite use for this is get to a hotel, this is your lighting for the hotel. You don't use any of those junk lights because that's gonna destroy your melatonin production for 3 hours. Marry that with all the Wi-Fi signals, probably 20 to 30, not going to get that much sleep. So why not stack it in your favor and turn off those junk lights with that blue noonday sunlight, the blue wavelength, and just light your hotel room with this. You could also just use this when you're traveling, just on your face if you want. You just feel like you need a little energy boost, just put it on your torso. What I've done is I have a whole body vibration plate. So I'll just stand naked on that and I'll just hold it to my crotch. Because for men, actually hitting that area, testosterone is not just for sexuality. Testosterone is for proper neurotransmitter function. Testosterone is for proper motivation, drive, everything. If a man doesn't have testosterone, they literally cannot function in any area of life. So for women too, ovaries, just, this is one of the best things you could do. Remember, where the sun doesn't shine is the area that you need it the most. We didn't come out of our mom with clothes, so these are tools we can use to kind of catch up a little bit and kind of feed those tissues that have been starving for energy. Because when they're deficient in light, they actually can't generate an electromagnetic field. The mitochondria in those tissues will be dysfunctional. And when that happens, when the energy production tanks, the glandular function tanks. So the ovaries don't work as well, the testes don't work as well. That's just going to shut down the entire system hormonally. And remember that the hormones pretty much tell the body what to do. They control everything. So this is really deep. Along with water and magnetism, light, this is primordial. This is one of the really basic things you could do. Ton of uses for both of these. This one, as you can see, definitely more portable. This one, hang on your door. Good to do at least 10 minutes a day. I would aim for 15 minutes twice a day, ideally, if you can. But stack as much as you can all of these things. It's really important. Open this up to get more light in. So I just have this hanging on my front door. Super easy, super long cord. It has fans throughout to keep it cool. These are my two favorite red light devices. There are a couple others on the Red Light Man website. There's little box looking ones. I would just recommend going straight to these. I'll put a link for this one below, the Red Light Man. And this GembaRed, you can actually use the code MitoLife. And you'll save, I think it's 10%, it might be more, on the GembaRed light. This one's super affordable. Most of these red lights, the cheapest ones I used to see, $700, $800, $900. Granted, this is smaller. This is just $260 in that range. It's incredible. And you just buy it once. LEDs last for hundreds of thousands of hours. This is going to last for years and years and years. And if you're into vanity even, and you're just into doing a skincare routine, the best thing you could do is do the cleanser, put on your clay mask, and then go in front of this red light and just go like this and just put on some music, meditate. This is the best skincare combination protocol. You add in a sauna, and now we're talking about full anti-aging. You're impervious to car exhaust and pollution, and your skin is just going to stay in tip-top shape for your whole life, however long you want to live. So that's it on red light. Get charged up. Check out these two devices.